All right, I'm live. Let me just check the sound. What a nightmare. Hey, everybody. For those of you who tuned in anyway, why am I here tonight? Well, I was bored. I was trying some new stuff out. It did not work. It did not work. I was trying to get Rumble going, trying to get X going. Still not working. So I thought I'd do a quick news blast just for the hell of it. Somebody saw that I was online and then disappeared. Um, one news story that's sort of going under the radar is the woke right story that James Lindsay continues to talk about. Um, there's a bit of a feud going on the right between, well, Lindsay's not really in the right, but I guess he's in the mix. Left and right really doesn't apply. It's Lindsay versus the woke, and some of those woke guys like Candace Owens are super woke right. I mean, and Seth Dillon is also on Team Lindsay. Seth Dillon is one of the finest Americans we have. This is all just mean girl slander, super fake and gay, says Lindsay about Candace slamming the Babylon Bee on Tucker Carlson. It's very strange how that's happened. Very strange. What's this? Is that chili? Looks like cheesesteak to me. Should have cut the chili first. Oh, there's some hot peppers. That look good. I'm not a big pepper guy though, so I wouldn't have gotten the peppers. Anyhow, let's check out some news. Hey, Arden's here. Hey, this is unusual. Be right back. Changing devices. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, don't ever change, Arden. Um, Sam Rogers is here. Hello, everyone. Hey, Sam. Hey. I was trying to do. I had some extra time, so I was trying to figure out Rumble and X and other places. Hi, Arden. I was trying to figure out how to multi-stream, and in that process, I managed to alert you that I was doing a stream, but I didn't actually manage to get the stream up and rolling anywhere else other than here. I still am having. I tried StreamYard again, and I went through the process, and just as I was about to click, StreamYard was like, "Okay, you're all set. Now just give us $25." And I was just like, "Damn it, I don't have $25. I didn't expect to pay $25." So I thought StreamYard would allow me to do it for free. So I did all the prep, and then they demanded money, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I want to take on that overhead right now, because it won't just be a one-time thing, right? It'll be every month, and I'm always continuously broke. So, and OBS doesn't want to work with Rumble. It doesn't want to. I'm not sure if Rumble works with StreamYard. I can't seem to get it to work. It recognized just about everything else. Artie, yeah, I don't multi-stream because I'm the poor. Yeah, I'm the poor too. I mean, I definitely would consider it if I was making some money on the streams, maybe, but I'm really not. So, I mean, I've made a couple of bucks here and there, but not that I'm crying about it. But like if I was doing Sticks and Hammer numbers, he did a stream today. He was playing Oh God, what the hell's the game? The one with you die of dysentery. Oregon Trail. I think that's what it's called. Ardent. OBS works fine with Rumble for me. Oh, it does? I couldn't seem to get it to work. I started on another Rumble stream that I had to turn off. I couldn't get it to work. Right, Joan? Just a Joan update if you want to hear it. Joan has been out of control. Like completely out of control. Demanding like nobody's business. Ardent. Oh, hey. Big news for me. I hit 1K on X last night. There you go. Went to bed at 9:98. Woke up with 1,004. Well, congratulations. Okay. So that's on X. Did you already hit 1,000 on YouTube? You did, right? Are you monetized on YouTube yet? Now that you hit 1,000 on X, I'm slowly going up on X. I'm going up actually faster on YouTube. Thank you, says Ardent. I'm still about 9 short to hit 4,000 on YouTube. It's taken forever. Probably because I'm an incompetent boob when it comes to this techno stuff. Can't just like click the button and start streaming. I'm sure that's what the government's doing to me. But anyhow, I thought we could do some news. Ardent, LOL, Fug, no. YouTube hates me. My last vid got age restricted immediately. Sam Rogers, Ardent, party, good job. He means about the X stuff. Ardent says, thanks. Yeah, I mean, YouTube is... I mean, I'm reluctant. That part of the reason I started experimenting with the stream is because I'm really worried I'm going to be kicked off of YouTube before I hit 4,000 at this point, or that everybody will, essentially, because they're changing the way people do the comments or the upvotes. Like, they're not going to count unless people make comments, and or you're going to have to be... Your viewers are going to have to interact with you or it doesn't count, basically. So, Ardent, to be fair, my last video was in the 4F6 Friday series. Yeah, that, and speaking of, that video I did today on the organ harvesting was frightening. Apparently, people in hospitals are harvesting organs with patients who may survive because those are good organs. Yeah, let's rush that. Is he dead? He's pretty close. Bet if we take his organs out and sell them, he'll be dead. And then we'll know for sure. But anyhow, Ardent, that was the topic I got on too. I know, it's so bad. So bad I want to do the news again just to forget about the organ harvesting. When I heard about organs, I'd heard about organ harvesting in 2 countries, which I'll never visit. One is, of course, China, which I wouldn't visit anyway because it's full of commies. But apparently they organ harvest some of their prisoners alive. Ardent, effing ghoulish. And then in Yugoslavia, Albania, that region of the world, Kosovo, there's a real black market for human organs. So they are harvesting human organs like mafia guys are harvesting human organs. That's effing messed up. I would never go to those countries. Just because I heard that story. Like, even if tomorrow, like, Trump goes in there and, I don't know, straightens the place out, I'd be like, nope, I'm still not going. just in case one of those mafia families somehow survived. Like, what a nightmare. All right, let's do some news, Joan. You stinky dog. We'll do some news. CNN's Harry Enton calls BS on Kamala Harris's claim she suddenly wants to work outside the system. Oh, please. Yeah, I mean, it's total BS. Everything Kamala Harris does is BS, I would assume. Ardent, Canadian Gov is proud of the fact that they are cost-cutting and recovering outlay from MAID, government-assisted self-removal. Ew. That's horrific, too. I mean, who wants the organs of a mentally ill person? No, it's terrible. I'm making a dark joke, but the whole MAID system, that alone, I mean, I think it might violate human rights internationally. Not that that makes a difference anymore, because the whole international order's wrecked. It was a bunch of globalists anyway. The globalists seem to love this idea. Oh, human. Oh, yes. Let's have self-deletion booths on every corner, because they would love to get the population down. Love to get it down. They would love to get it down, and then the remaining population can live in the pods and eat the bugs and work for, I don't know, work for their amusement. These people are sick. We're ruled by psychopaths, in my opinion. Yahoo News accusing the Trump administration of being Orwellian. That's hilarious. A Florida man finds 50 pounds of cocaine floating in the ocean. Shockingly turns it in. Well, what the heck is he supposed to do with it? If he's not a drug dealer, what is he going to do with it? You might say, well, sell it. Oh, yeah, just go right down to the corner and find a Scarface and take it right off your hands, and he won't be brutally murdered by a bunch of cartel guys. Nah, you turn something like that in. You don't even touch it. You don't even touch it. Of course you turn in it. No, you don't mess around with that. Now, if it was money, that's a different story. If I found the money for 50 pounds of cocaine, that money would be mine. Now, Ardent, LOL, shockingly? What is wrong with these journos? I don't know. I guess I've known a few people who are journalists, and I almost sort of was one myself, so I kind of know, at least on the local level, they don't get paid jack. And almost everyone I've met really doesn't want to do it anymore. Like, it's kind of like the world of comics, but worse, way worse. They kind of make money, more than the comic guys, but the comic book guys are nice mostly. They're just well-meaning waifs who want to be creative. The journalists, a lot of them are like, I don't know how to describe it. They're not really scumbags, but, well, they are kind of scumbags, but they have this veneer of credibility because they think they're doing something noble, but I've ever heard them do is complain about it, and they're terrible. Most of them are terrible at their job, just awful. Ardent, sociopaths, government sociopaths, informed by sociopaths. Yeah, I don't even think they're sociopaths. I just don't think they care. They'd be like the first person, oh, we're a communist country now. Boom, they just turn on a dime and just keep working. They don't care. They're kind of beaten people. In some respects, I feel sorry for them, but they are looking forward to a career in anything else whatsoever. So I think if the journo found 50 pounds of cocaine, they'd be like, oh, I'm a drug dealer now. Yes, I am. Gonna start my own cartel. They'd go right into it, wouldn't look back. Oh, I could finally stop going to my editor and trying to get a, story past them. I mean, there's a handful of actual journalists out there, like Matt Taibbi, Glenn Greenwald, Aaron Mate, Seymour Hirsch. It's a handful of guys who are really genuinely dedicated to the craft. Everybody else is kind of just there. A lot of them just want to write books. They really want to be writers. And, they're not great writers either. They think by writing a bunch of news articles, they'll somehow get better at writing. But a lot of them don't have anything to say that isn't stuff you already know. But if I found the money, the equivalent of money for 50 pounds of cocaine, which I assume would be in the millions, the first thing you got to do is you can't tell anybody, and you have to hide the money. And then you have to figure out there's a problem with the money in that, number one, it could be fake. Like a lot of drug money's fake because the cartels do that. They print some extra money and then mix it in with the real money. So it kind of cuts down their cost. That's one problem. The next problem is I think the government has some sort of thing where if there's a lot of drug residue on the money, they could maybe confiscate it. So that's a problem too. But your main problem is the cartel's going to find you. That's the main problem. So the safest strategy is to immediately turn that into the FBI. Now there's I think a 90-day window, and after 90 days, if nobody claims it's legally yours. But the problem with that is if you go to the FBI, let's say, and the cops or whatever, and then they're honest enough to go, oh, okay, here's your money. You can keep it now. It's perfectly legal. The cartel guys are just waiting outside the police station that day to get their money. And not only will you have to give it to them, you will then have to pay the taxes on the money that you don't have anymore. So that it's the safest route because there's a chance you could go through that and the cartel guys are either dead or they've just written off that money. Right? $2 million. They don't care. Doubtful, but or they just haven't found you. They just don't know about you, so they never figure it out. So if you keep the money, the problem is, of course, they have some way of finding you. So it really depends on how you find the money. Like if you find the money in the woods or in the ocean where there's absolutely no chance anyone's videotaped you and you manage to get it on land or in your house without anybody seeing, you're relatively safe at first. But then you have to do what the cartels do. Basically, you have to wash the money. And I don't mean physically wash it, although you could do that to get the drug residue off it, but I'm not really sure how to do that. But I think you would have to worry that the cartel also, and this is possible, wrote down all the serial numbers on all the bills. Or had some machine that did all that, recorded all the numbers, and that they're patiently monitoring transactions in your area to find the guy who has their money. So that's another problem. So I don't know. I mean, a lot of people would take the chance and just. It kind of depends on how old the money is, too. See, the older it is, the more likely it is the cartel isn't looking for it anymore. Or, whoever had the money. It's possible they're all dead. I mean, that's the ideal situation. You have a giant pile of money, and all the guys connected to it are already dead. Nobody knows what happened to it. Ardent, today's plastic bills make it a lot easier to wash the residue off. Are the American bills actual paper? Still actual paper? Yeah. And in fact, the other day I was at one of my events at a senior place, and a nice old lady bought one of my books. But she gave me a $10 bill that looked like it had been through the war, and she said, "Oh, it was in the wash." And I took it because I figured, like, well, if I have to throw this $10 away, I only lost, like $3 or $4. But because she seemed really nice, and I figured, like, I'll see if I can get rid of it. And then 2 days later, I tried to get rid of it at the gas station. The guy was just like, "Nah, I'm not taking this bill, dude." So I had to give him 2 5s, and then finally I got rid of it at the movies to see The Naked Gun. So perhaps that bad karma is why the movie wasn't that great. It was okay. It wasn't bad, Joan. Joan, are you getting out? What are you doing? What are you doing, my little fuzzy friend? What? So yeah, they're not plastic, but they are like this paper plastic, I guess you would call it. I mean, I know it has a slip of it has the chip, some kind of little tracking device in every bill above, I gotta say, like 20 and up. Ardent, try a bank. If the bill is in really bad shape, they should be able to exchange it and then return it to the government for value. Well, my worry was that it was actually fake and that I wasn't going to get my $10. So I decided to try the movies to spend it. So I spent it, and so I got my value out of it. So if the movie theater comes back at me, well, good luck. Ardent, I used to do that with really bad bills here. Strip. Yeah, there's little strips in our money. I thought about going to the bank, but if it was fake, the bank would be like, "Oh, this is fake." And that would be the end of it. And they wouldn't give me my $10 unless, they tried to, give me I got a bill one time from the bank and went to the store, and the girl behind the counter identified it as fake, but she let me keep it. So I went back because I told her, I said, "I just got that from the bank." And then she's like, "Nope, this is fake." So then I went back to the bank and demanded another bill. And they said, "This isn't fake, but we'll give you another bill." So, all right, Stinky, down you go. All right. Be good. Be good. All right. So, yeah. I mean, people talk a big game when they say, "Oh, I'm going to find a big giant pile of money." But you got to really be careful. Because if you're talking, like $1 million, people will kill you over that kind of money. And it's obviously going to be drugs or mafia related. So it's a dicey situation no matter how you slice it. Probably the best thing to do, I guess, would be to sit on the cash for like 5 years. Something extreme like that. Like bring it into your house, put it in like a safe that no one even knows about, and just wait for like 5 years. And then you got to figure, after 5 years, number one, no one's going to be looking at you, and hopefully whatever tracking system the mafia guys have just doesn't work. Ardent, if I found a lot of money, I'd go buy a bunch of lotto tickets in different towns and just never go home. Maybe. I mean, you could do that. The problem is, I think they would track the money. So eventually they would catch you on camera spending it, and then they would hunt you down. But like, yeah, if you just spent a life on the road spending cash, but then you have to worry about being, either running into some guys who would just roll you for all the money, or, again, showing up at the wrong place at the wrong time. Ardent, wait, that might not work either. yeah, I don't get the lotto ticket portion of your plan, but if you just move from town to town paying cash for everything, it's really hard to track you that way. But you still have to drive a car. I mean, the cartel guys are pretty piped in, so it would be tough. One thing you could do is you could just take the money right to the bank and deposit it and see what happens. And then that way, even if the gangsters contact you, you could say, all right, I'll give you the money back, but number one, I got to pay taxes, and I'm doing you a favor, so how about, one, giving me the money that I can pay the taxes on it, and two, then giving me some money on top of that. And they might be amendable to that, simply because otherwise they wouldn't have found their money at all. And you're making it easy on them. But they'd likely just kill you. Who knows? Arden was spitballing. All right, let's move on. Trump accuses Schumer of political extortion amid nominations blockade. That's what they do in Congress. Kristen Davis reveals Melrose Place co-star wouldn't speak to her on set during filming. Okay, I don't know. Was she in Melrose Place too? I guess she was. Don't care. Tiffany Stratton's WWE Women's Championship reign marches on with win over Jade Cargill at SummerSlam. I have no idea who these people are. The only wrestling I'm interested in is mud and t-shirts and, baby oil when it comes to the ladies. But, at least these girls are kind of hot. Nobody reads UN reports, according to UN Report. That is not from the Babylon Bee. That's from RT. I would not be surprised at that at all. It's just the UN needs to go. It doesn't work anymore. It's stupid. Some other new system should be put in place. It's all a big scam to appear like we're all talking to each other and all countries are somewhat equal, but it's not, and they've overextended their mandate, and the whole system at the UN is completely effed. It's been completely gamed. It's stupid. The countries that run the Human Rights Council, they're all violating human rights like crazy. China runs the WHO, and just get out of it. Just say F it and go our separate ways, and then hopefully the rest of the countries follow suit and the thing collapses, and then maybe at some later date you start it over. GOP Senator John Thune quietly blocks Trump recess appointments with sneaky procedural maneuver. Launches series of pro forma sessions to keep Senate in fake session during recess. That's no bueno. And I don't quite understand why he's doing that. Is he mad at Trump for some reason? FDA's mercury cover-up. Poison in our teeth. Oh my God. The outrage leaving millions, including South Florida's families, military personnel, and veterans unaware of neurotoxin in their mouths. Oh my God. Look at that picture. It's a rotting tooth. Ew. Why would you show that in the thumbnail? Oh, Jesus. Now there's another headline. Man killed in front of wife and son on way to church. Jesus. They killed Flanders. I don't want to know about this. Should have clicked on some happy news headlines. That's terrible. Biden could have released the Epstein files. He didn't. That's true. Ardent, is that about amalgam fillings? I don't know. Hopefully there's not a gross picture when I click on this. Oh, God. Oh, okay. Now that I look at it, it's actually a filling, but I guess it has mercury in it. Mercury dental amalgam, yes. Misleadingly called silver fillings, which contain 50% mercury? That seems like a lot of mercury to put into your head. Ardent, it's okay. I'm looking it up now. No bueno. I mean, no. No. You don't want to put mercury in your body. Get enough of it from sushi. Jeannie Pirro, confirmed by Senate as Washington, D.C.'s top prosecutor. Okay. So start prosecuting, Jeannie. Ardent, S. I have 3 of those. Yeah, it's a lot. Oh my God, dude. You better get checked out. See if you have mercury poisoning. I don't know what you could do. You got to switch it to, maybe you got to switch it to gold. Maybe that's why they do gold. Or did. I don't know what that cost. That's got to cost a lot. There's got to be a mercury filling. We have this stuff in the States. I assume you guys have access to it. It's the same technology. When they fix a chipped tooth, they put this stuff in, and they harden it with ultraviolet light, and then they just kind of file it down, and boom, your tooth's fixed. So maybe something like that. Oh, we've got a new player in the game. I can't pronounce your name, dude. I'm going to say Sneezy XX. Isn't mercury poisonous? It's incredibly poisonous. The worst part about it is it never leaves your body. That's the main problem. It just keeps accumulating. So it's no good. Ardent, the mercury was supposed to be chemically stable with the silver it was amalgamated with. There are UV cured ceramic fillings now. Yeah, you got to get those, dude. You got to get those. Ardent, I'd call him Snizik. Oh, that's a pretty good name. Snizik. What do you prefer? Sniziks? Or what I said, which I already forgot. But seriously, Ardent, you should probably get those looked into. I know you have the Canadian healthcare system, so I assume it'll be a 50-year wait, but maybe just pay a dentist to do that. Or quite frankly, our dentists aren't that expensive in America. I mean, you might want to look into just crossing the border and doing it here. I don't know. But I don't know how much it costs, because I'm on the state healthcare or whatever it is, which is insane because I have an amazing healthcare plan that's completely free. But like someday I hope to be making enough money that I could actually, be like live like a normal human being. But on that day, I'll have to pay my own health insurance, and my health insurance will be crap. That will cover nothing. Ardent, dental isn't too bad for waits. My last one was about 3 months. Oh, that's not too bad. Border crossing isn't an option for me. Would be multi-day round trip. What else? Cardinal Burke, Archbishop Cordileone Leon, will celebrate traditional pontifical mass on Tuesday. That sounds extremely Catholic. I have no idea what's going on. Vaccination rates hits record-breaking low for 3rd year in a row as religious exemptions reach record high. Well, who the hell could blame them? After what happened? I'm sure nobody wants to get vaccinated ever again. I don't want to get a needle ever again. None of the Amish are vaccinated. Or at least, I don't think the Amish weren't vaccinated against the pandemic. That much I know. I don't know about other things. Probably got the regular ones. I don't know. Ardent was looking up mercury poisoning symptoms and now have a new nightmare word/wizard's curse formication with an N. That sounds not good. But at least you know. So maybe, I don't know how long you had the fillings, but you know, go to the dentist, get them redone, and sleep like a baby. You know, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe the dentist will probably say, "Oh yeah, a lot of people they get that, but I can fix it for you." Like maybe it's not that big of a deal. Remain positive. Russian lab unveils when first patients receive cancer vaccine. I don't know about that. That's from RT. Russia first patients will begin receiving personalized cancer treatment by the end of the year. Ardent, you should look it up. It's pretty damn good. Had the filling since I was a kid, and they might be connected to my thyroid issue. Ooh. Yeah, I can get them removed and replaced with gold, maybe. That would be expensive, but it would be cool. Weeping relatives and friends gather to at wake to remember New Jersey mom and daughter killed in head-on crash with illegal immigrant. There's just no excuse for that. However you feel about illegal aliens, there's just no excuse to have them do this. So imagine going to another country and illegally and then accidentally killing somebody. The other country would probably kill you. I think a lot of countries in the world, oh man, you would be screwed beyond belief. Um, you know, that's, I don't know how it happened, but it shouldn't happen. It should not have happened. Trump tells Schumer to go to hell over Senate nominee deal funding demands after negotiations collapse. Pam Bondi hires Florida election crimes chief being sued for Hava/RICO election fraud under Trump's own executive order. Pam Bondi hires Florida election crimes chief being sued for Hava/RICO election fraud under Trump's own executive order. I mean, maybe it's bull, maybe it's political, I don't know. McCloskey's win back AR-15 5 years after Black Lives Matter protest confrontation. I don't know if you remember these guys. This was the couple who's had to defend their home against a bunch of idiot college students during a Black Lives Matter protest. I didn't even remember it being a Black Lives Matter protest, but he had an AR-15. Yeah, and she had a pistol, and they protected their house. I wish they had friggin' opened fire, but I understand why they wouldn't. Because these protesters, if they had opened fire, they probably would have been in less trouble. Because then they could have argued rightly that they were in fear for their lives. But when you point guns at people and don't fire, then it gets a little dicey in certain states. I mean, here in New Jersey, if someone breaks into your home, I think the rule of thumb is to make sure you kill them. Because if you don't, or if you try to run away or shoot them in the leg, it's going to be super dicey after that. Sounds like to me. I don't know the law. Don't follow my advice. I'm not a lawyer. Just speculating. Ardent, I remember. Did she get the lighter back? I'm convinced that was a lighter, not a pistol she was holding. No, that was part of the problem too. She was holding the pistol. I don't know. Alex Ogle, what's to report, Tony? Canada has effed up trade negotiation. England is to become England bad. Movies are crap. Sydney Sweetie is a welcome break to denim sales, and pineapple belongs on my pizza. How dare you, Alex? Come in here and do that. Nice to see you, Alex. What's to report? Yeah, I mean, Trump sent submarines to Russia. I don't know if you heard that. That's pretty crazy. Ardent at Alex Ogle. Hail, fellow Big. Ardent Ott. Hail, fellow Nat. What? I don't know what Nat is short for. Alex Ogle AI. Or C. C. Anywho, moving on. This is the grave I think I'm going to be buried in. Hamas releases videos of emaciated hostage. Yeah, this is muy no bueno. So anyone now at this point supporting the Hamas guys and giving them credit, I mean, you really just have to stop. Yeah, I don't like what's going on. I'm very critical of the Israeli government, but yeah, I mean, these guys still have hostages. Now, I'm not sure the IDF has a real plan to like actually find them. At this point, I can't understand why they can't find them, quite frankly. I mean, the entire Gaza Strip has been flattened 5 times. Like, how can you not find these guys? How can they have like still a place? I don't understand. But apparently there's some bunker somewhere that the Hamas guys built that they're keeping this dude in and won't let him go. I can't believe there's any Hamas guys alive. How are they watching him? Like, where are the guns? Where are they getting food at this point? It doesn't make any sense to me that they can't find him. It's very sad. But at this point, I say, you know, the Israelis are talking about annexing Gaza. I say let them do it. I wouldn't stop them. That has to be better than what's going on now. Ardent, LOL, speaking of pizza, after a snit with Berlusconi, a Finnish pizza company named one after him that had smoked reindeer on it. Sounds amazing. Alex Ogle, hail Tony. Canada welcomes Palestinian statehood, which is utter nonsense. So I have to welcome Trump pulling Carney's trousers down and inserting tariffs right the way up. Yeah, I mean, there is no, who do you even negotiate with? That's another problem too. The idea that you could negotiate a 2-state solution, there's nobody left to negotiate with that makes any sense. Like back in the day, Yasser Arafat was the guy and he ran the PLO. So, like, you could have seen him transitioning to be the president of Palestine, and I don't know, he held some position, he met with world leaders. There's nobody left, man. And the moment the guy comes out of his bunker, the IDF has a sniper ready for him. So, like, who's left? You're talking like we're way past the lieutenant stage of the guys that are left in Hamas. There's like nobody left. You know, you can't just hand over the country to a bunch of rando Hamas guys. They don't have any political power. They don't know what they're doing. They can't run a country anyway. And they're a bunch of communists on top of all that. So how is it even going to work? It doesn't make any sense. Ardent, LOL, annexation equals liberation at this point. Arafat was a redacted. It makes more sense now that Gaza gets annexed, these people stop starving, and they become some kind of Israeli citizens eventually. And then the Israelis take over the whole strip, and, you know, even if these people get deported somewhere, that has to be better than just standing around in the strip waiting to get bombed or starved to death. So get these people, I don't know, send them anywhere. Send them anywhere where there's no bombs. Is there no Arab countries somewhere in the world that will take some of these people? I mean, I get it. They don't want to take all of them. Take a handful of, I mean, like, you're telling me 200 people is going to destabilize your country? No, I don't think so. Take 200 of them. take 2,000 of them wouldn't destabilize the country. Turkey should take a handful of them. If Turkey takes some, I mean, how many's even left at this point? That's another thing. How many people could possibly be alive in Gaza to take? You don't have to take the criminals. I mean, if you find a guy and he's just like, I don't know, Sammy murderer, yeah, okay, let's not deport him. Let's put him in jail or whatever. But, I mean, you're telling me the Hamas guys somehow still have a bunker full of hostages somewhere in Gaza and you can't find it? It's a tiny, tiny area. Alex Ogle, not on this stream, but look up something that is the way. I don't want to even know. All right, let's move on to something. Maybe there's something cheerier in the news. This might have been a bad idea. I might get flagged by YouTube. Broken altimeter, ignored warnings. Hearings reveal what went wrong in D.C. crash that killed 67. That was terrible. The news is so terrible. Alex Bliss, Charlotte Flair put differences aside to win WWE Women's Tag Team Champion at SummerSlam. Well, I guess that's kind of a happy story. Nuclear option lingers over Senate as members leave for August recess, says Axios. Here's another one. Virginia, did you guys hear about this? Virginia City Councilman Lee Vogler faces long, painful, and uncertain recovery after being set on fire. He was set on fire. It's insane. And you look at the guy, he could be Two-Face in Batman. I'm not kidding you. Like, he's a handsome guy. So you can imagine, like, if half his face got burned, he would totally be Two-Face. But here's the crazy thing about this story, though. The guy who did it brought a 5-gallon container of gasoline. Like, how do you walk into any office? I can't imagine that he would get 10 feet, 100 feet near an office building with that kind of gas can. Somebody would see him coming a mile away and go, why is that guy walking up to the building with a 5-gallon gas can? It's a pretty big gas can. Ardent, it's psychological torture prawn, the news. Yes, it really is. And then on top of that, he somehow got in the building with this giant gas can and managed to douse this guy. Like, what was he doing while it was happening? How did he get doused with gas and not the guy doing it? Right? Like, you'd have to lift this 5-gallon thing over some guy's head. He'd have to be totally unaware that you're coming up behind him with a 5 gallons of gas. Arnett, you'd be amazed how oblivious office workers can be. All you really need is a clipboard and some high V's. Well, yeah, but he was carrying a 5-gallon thing. I mean, that's got to be like this big, right? I mean, if it was metal, it's got to be heavy as hell. If it was full, seems like it was reasonably full. This guy was doused in gasoline. Like, the moment you'd smell it. You'd smell it coming at you. All right. And then he doused him with gasoline, and then the guy ran, but he couldn't get away, and then the guy lit him on fire. Ardent, V's, short for visibility. Oh, 5 gallon, it's about a foot to a side? Really? Is that all? I mean, I'm picturing 5 milk jugs. Right? Would be 5 gallons. Alex Ogle, the something is a sketch by a British comedy duo. Slightly less than 2 pints puts one in just the right state of mind to fix problems. Being ever so slightly drunk is the most peaceful way. Oh, okay. So it's a joke. You were linking a joke. The inebriati. Oh, now I get it. I thought you were linking me something like very dark. The inebriati. Got it. So it's like the Illuminati, except they're drunks. Okay. That's where the way I am. I'm not drunk, but I'm like, I like to speculate and solve problems. Ardent, yep, had to check. Newfoundland has a taste for salt beef, and that comes from in 5-gallon buckets. It's about the size of a human head. That can't be right. That's got to be a gallon. That's only a gallon. Do I have a gallon jug somewhere? No, or else I'd run and get it. That's got to be 5 human heads. A human head would be about a gallon. Is liquid different from salted pork or salt beef? Even so, the moment the guy... Alex, Tony, the only way I'd give you a bum steer is to tell you that pizza is tastiest with a stuffed crust. Oh, no. It's just unnatural. I mean, I'm sure you could find, like, if you made a stuffed crust pizza at home with quality dough and cheese, I'm sure it would be amazing. But, and to be honest, my favorite thing in the world are strombolis, which are just basically giant pizzas rolled up with stuff in it. And if you haven't had a stromboli, you're really missing out on life. I mean, they're delicious because everything's on the inside and you cut it up and now I'm hungry. Damn it. But yeah, I feel really bad for this guy. And here's the kicker. Here's the topper of this entire story. This isn't necessarily well, he's a crazy guy, obviously, but it wasn't just like he got mad at his policies. There's some sort of personal thing going on between the two of them. And nobody's quite sure. It hasn't come out yet, which I can't wait to hear. But it's got to be either the guy's totally insane and the personal beef is nothing and he took it way too far. I mean, he took it way too far either way, but it could be something like, I don't know, what could it be? It could be really bad. It could be really dark and change the entire story. But I don't think it's come out yet. But my God. When you read about it, it's just like, how do things like this happen to people? It's so bad. Alex Ogle, Italian reject everything Americans have to say about food because they are snobs. By the way, when will Obama and Hillary be arrested? Give us some good news. Yeah. Obama never. Obama was president. They will never arrest him. However, you got to look at it this way. People in our country at that, level, I believe they're only going to get arrested based on the political wins at the time. So the political winds are shifting. And I believe Trump is trying to sort of lay the groundwork. So some high up muckety muck will eventually do time or at least go to court. Obama's right out because he was president. He can claim all sorts of presidential immunities. That's not going to happen. So just set him out of it. But Hillary wasn't a president. However, she is pretty old and she's got some medical problems. So like Fauci, I believe someone like Hillary, the best you can hope for is you could get her to court and then she'd die in the process because she's so old and the stress would exacerbate whatever problem she had, and then, yeah, she'd be done. Or she'd go senile halfway through, and then it would be pointless. So they're not going to really. The guys who really, I think, have to worry, Jack Smith, they're going after him because he's not famous enough. I don't even know if you remember him. He was one of the prosecutors who went after Trump right before the election, and he was making a lot of noise. But I don't think he made enough noise. I think everybody's already forgotten who he is, so they'll go after him because they can kind of keep that quiet enough, and they can, at the very least, he's probably going to lose his law license and all that kind of stuff. Alex Ogle, Hillary, Ghislaine Maxwell Clinton? Ghislaine Maxwell, I'll say it first, didn't kill herself. But I don't expect Ghislaine Maxwell to ever see the light of day. I just literally don't. If they got Epstein, I'm 100% sure they'll get her. 100%. Sure, it'll look fishy as hell, but she'll be gone. And then there's no trial. So, and then it'll be what they're doing is, I think, orchestrating it in such a way that it'll be 20, 30, 40, 50 years before we actually get the data. So they've apparently deposed her unofficially, like in a way that they can't use the information yet. So we do have something, but I bet that gets locked away for 50 years. And there's no way to confirm it, right? So Ghislaine Maxwell can sing like a canary. How do you confirm a word that she says? She'd say anything to get out of that prison. Anyone would. So she's had plenty of time to think of a plausible story and the people who she could target and the people she should stay away from. So I can't see her having any real proof to give the FBI that the FBI didn't already take and probably destroy. So this could all be a psyop led by the same people who, were in the government, were using this Epstein as probably a front to blackmail people. So it may all be happening again, but this time through prison. And the idea is to get leverage against Trump. Maybe. So maybe she's, I don't believe Trump did anything, but she may be behind the scenes subtly signaling, like, if you don't give me what I want, I'm going to come out and blast Trump, and then he'll be done in the midterms and you guys will be screwed. Maybe. Or she's going to she's going to bust loose with some accusations that, against people who are connected to Trump or connected to the GOP or whatever. And then the GOP is going to be accused of covering up, or, it could all go very bad. Now, the opposite is, okay, let's say she comes clean and talks about Bill Clinton and Bill Gates and every Democratic donor who came to the island. I don't think she lives much longer. I don't think she lives long enough to testify. I really don't. And she probably, again, doesn't have it. How is she going to have proof? What did she, take the videotapes with her to prison? There's no way they don't have it. Unless she uploaded that into the cloud and then somehow nobody knows about it, and somehow she, used computer machinations to hide it, and she's got an accomplice out there who's keeping that information safe. I don't see if there's any way. Even then, I believe the FBI and the CIA would get at it eventually. They'd get at that person. They'd say, give us the files or we're going to kill you, basically. And he'd give it up, and then they'd kill him anyway. And that would be the end of it. So I don't think there's any way you're going to see anything come out of that other than Ghislaine Maxwell might be set free because, too many people are think they're on the hook, and then maybe they'll throw a couple of elites to the dogs just to make it look good. But here's the good news: Comey and Clapper. I think Trump's real goal is to go after them, and I think if he gets them, that will put a chill on the deep state big time. I mean, it'll never go away, but guys in the deep state will always look at Clapper and Comey and go, "Oh, I don't want to end up like them." Nah, they put those dudes in jail. They went too far, so they'll pull it back. But I don't know if Kash Patel is really the guy for the job. He seems to have not delivered on a lot after the Epstein files. Now, maybe it wasn't his fault. Maybe it's not Pam Bondi's fault, but it's got to be somebody's fault. I'm not sure what's going on, but we're not going to find out for like 20, 30, 40, 50 years. But, the Clintons are tied. Here's why I think is going to happen to Hillary, though. I said this the other day in the video, and I have to be careful the way I say this, but, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. So people who are in this sort of game where people meet with a terrible accident often meet with a terrible accident themselves if they have a lot of bodies on them, I would say. So I think you're probably going to see something like that if Hillary, makes the wrong move. But it'll be something that you're never going to be able to prove because, again, she's pretty old and she has medical problems. There's an episode of The X-Files where they put a bunch of nanites or something inside the body of the FBI director, the bald guy from the show, and then at any time they could kill him. I think that technology probably already exists. And sure, the show is speculative, probably, but I bet they have that technology, and I bet there's some people in Washington with that technology in their body, and they know, oh man, I'll die if I don't do what they tell me to do. Alex Ogle, you live by the Marvel Universe, you die by the Marvel Universe. So yeah, I think it's very possible that could happen to someone like Hillary. Not Bill. People like Bill. I think Bill, and he's always kind of been lucky. I think if they go after Bill, they'll find him dead the next day with a prostitute on top of him and a big smile on his face. You're never going to get Bill. He's also a president too, so you can't touch him. But they could touch Hillary if they really wanted to. But she does have a lot of money, and she is a lawyer, and she has lots of lawyer friends, and there are people still willing to protect her. So I would say the guys to look out for are Comey, Clapper, guys like Jack Smith, people with no name recognition. Another guy who may be in big trouble in the future will be Hunter Biden. If Joe Biden dies, now I'm surprised the guy's still alive, quite frankly, but he ain't in great shape. But at some point, he's going to drop dead. Now, if that happens 3 or 4 years from now, Hunter will probably be fine. But if it were to happen anytime during the Trump administration, I think he's in big trouble because they might want to go after Hunter, and there won't be anybody to protect him if Joe Biden goes. Ardent, they could touch Hillary if they really wanted to. Ugh, phrasing. Alex Ogle, Bill would be found dead in a vat of bleach with all of Hillary's hard drives. Cincinnati police chief under intense scrutiny for mass brawl was accused by fellow cops of anti-white discrimination using race-based quota system, according to a suit. Yeah, the Cincinnati police chief is a disgrace. What happened to that couple is awful. Benny Johnson is running a GoFundMe thing for her, and they've raised like over $100,000, I think, which isn't enough money. I mean, her face, Whew, she got beat. So I hope they raise more, and I hope they raise enough money for this woman that she can move out of Cincinnati. DeSantis attacks Trump's on Reuters for RNC chair. Okay. Not sure what that's all about. Alex Ogle, Hillary should have encrypted her hard drives by using Newfoundland language. No one understands that nonsense. Ooh. The problem with people like Hillary, in my opinion, is they're so arrogant. I mean, one of the problems was she had a home network that she was keeping kind of off the books that she wasn't supposed to be using, which is why they didn't even know about these emails. But why the emails got copied, what happened was, I think it was Umeen Abedin, whatever her name is, the chick who's now married to the WEF guy who was like Hillary's assistant. She wanted her to send emails and read stuff for her and print it out. So she was using her husband. At the time, she was married to Anthony Weiner. And then she was using like Yahoo, which is like, I don't even know why you would use Yahoo, even like a few years ago, to like copy the emails or something so she could print them out. And what she accidentally ended up doing was making copies of all of Hillary's emails. So then when they arrested, I think it was when they arrested Anthony Weiner, they had his hard drive, and it turned out a bunch of the Hillary Clinton emails had been copied on it. Something like that. I forget the exact details of it, but it was something like that, where all the emails, and they were top secret, were being copied because she was trying to make print copies so she could hand them, because I guess Hillary Clinton's such a boomer, she can't read emails on a screen. You know, she didn't know, like, to spend her millions of dollars on a computer screen with, you know, they have screens that'll be easy on your eyes and, you know, all that good stuff. Instead, she wanted like a boomer to have everything printed out for her, and she wasn't supposed to do that either, actually. But they found a workaround using Yahoo email somehow, and thus the disaster unfolded, at least from her point of view. Alex Ogle, I haven't kept up with the attack. What the hell is going on with politicians defending it? Ardent says, hey, what the hell are on about? Regarding Newfoundland. Well, the attack was a couple coming out of a music festival in Cincinnati, and there was an altercation, and they got a huge beatdown by like a group of guys. Just surrounded them and just started wailing on them. And then now supposedly there's new evidence out that somebody dropped an M-bomb. I don't know if it was the couple, or maybe it was somebody else in the crowd, or maybe there was a misunderstanding. They thought they said the N-word or something like that. I don't even know if the video is real, but that's one thing. But not that they deserve a beatdown. You don't deserve a beatdown. No one deserves a beatdown unless they have beaten someone or hurt a child or something. But, you know, these idiots got caught up in the moment and just started wailing on this couple. Now, because all the people involved in the assault were black, I think, I didn't see all the video, the attackers have been defended by some Cincinnati councilwoman, I think, and then some other guy brought in a black pastor who demanded that the couple get arrested for reasons that weren't clear to me. But whatever the outcome, I think the couple took the bad end of it. So, you know, you just, like, it's one thing, okay, even if they started the fight, okay, you have to defend yourself, but, you know, once a person is down on the ground and like, hey, leave me alone, it's time to stop. unless they get right back up and try to punch you. But that wasn't the case, I don't think. So, someone's going to jail. Ardent, okay, fine, you got me. Newfoundland isn't real. We were all just cryptids from the old world. I knew it. Alex Ogle, N-bomb, neutron bomb, or Olivia Newton bomb? Yeah, I'm not even sure that N-bomb is real. Octopus latches on to a 6-year-old boy, refusing to release, mother says, showing footage of the child's injuries. Yeah, that was weird. That was at an aquarium. Don't put your arm in the aquarium, kid. CNN data guru says Democrats are messier than a hoarder's basement. Party's image is garbage. That is true. Good. They're a bunch of morons, and I hope they're all kicked out of office. Smithsonian explaining why it changed presidential history display leaves resist Trump media in tears. Yeah, so if you didn't know, the Smithsonian went woke very early on. That was like one of the first woke news stories. And so, that's sort of like the last thing we've got to clean out is the staff at the Smithsonian. Like, they put out all this woke information. It was ridiculous. Anyhow, apparently they decided it would be a good idea to put out a display covering presidential impeachments, probably in a weird way. Oh, how can we hurt Trump today? So the Trump admin got wind of it and told him, hey, take down all the impeachment stuff about Trump, which is, considering that Trump was cleared, essentially. I mean, he was impeached, but, he wasn't removed from office. The impeachment proceedings against him were ridiculous, especially the Russian hoax stuff. So I'm fine with him removing it while he's in office because I think it's pretty ridiculous. I think history will eventually bear him out. And then maybe they'll fix it, after he's out of office. But the first thing that needs to happen is, unfortunately, we need to now look at the staff at the Smithsonian and say, hey, you woke retards, you're all fired, or whatever. But that's probably last on the list. Probably won't even get done. Who knows? It'll probably be the sort of thing that carries on for years until someone in the Smithsonian does something so insane and stupid that it becomes a national news story, and then someone has to go in there and fire everybody. But maybe Trump tomorrow will appoint some new head of the Smithsonian to clear things out. Texas DPS uses canine unit to track illegal aliens in brush. Okay, that sounds smart. New Hampshire becomes first New England state to ban sex change surgeries for minors. Jesus, why is this taking so long? How is this even an issue? Can you imagine this being an issue for any normal person? You're walk into the hospital, let's say, and you're in charge of, I don't know, looking over their policies. And you're looking over and you're like, I can't help but notice that you perform sex changes on minors. Then the doctor's like, oh, yes. And you're just like, what do you mean, oh, yes? Are you out of your mind? Who started this? You should be arrested. You should be in prison for doing this. That's the, part of it that isn't happening, unfortunately. These people ought to be in chains for doing this. At all, to anyone who's under 18. Because I'm pretty sure they're not that happy. A lot of the sex changes, I think, post this era, no bueno for the people who got them. Because they got caught up in the gender trending nonsense and hacked their genitals off, and you can't reverse that. Some of these people who just took the puberty blockers are kind of messed up from them. There's no long-term studies on this stuff, but there will be, unfortunately, and I don't think it's going to come out positive for the puberty blocker people. But by the time that report comes out, there won't be a single person who believes in that stuff. There'll be so many people who'll be like, "Oh, I never believed in that," and they totally did. They totally did. They'll all be denying it. You watch. But Disney is still doubling down. I talked about an article in Hollywoke Hot Take where there's going to be an episode of Family Feud hosted by Steve Harvey where the entire team is trans. I don't know who that episode's for. I don't know why you would watch it. Seems weird, odd. It's like, we're going to play Family Feud. Here's a team of really gay guys. And on the other side, here's a team of super straight dudes who like girls, hot goth chicks. Like, what are we doing? Why are you teaming up a whole bunch of trans? It's called Family Feud. Isn't it supposed to be a family of people? Doesn't make any sense. And I'm shocked that Steve Harvey even agreed to host the show. I guess he had no choice, but I would have expected some resistance from him, like, because he's kind of a religious guy, but it's ABC. Here it is. Authorities launch investigation into ex-Trump prosecutor Jack Smith. Adios, Jack. I don't think anybody's coming to save you. I think they're going to throw you right the F under the bus. Tennessee man allegedly tries to blow up law enforcement officials during arrest at his home. That's no bueno. At least they caught him. ADL files Title VI complaint against Baltimore City Public Schools, charging egregious anti-Semitic harassment. Okay. Well, at least the ADL is kind of back in their lane. I mean, they seem to, for many years, exceeded their mandate. But, yeah, fighting anti-Semitism should be their primary concern at all times. So there seems to be an awful lot of that going around these days. All right, what else we got next? I didn't get my tabs ready, so let's see. What's the next one I normally do? Let's go right to anti-war. I've already done. There's probably nothing new there. Let's go to the New York Post. There we go. Oh, yep. Here's more on the couple. Cincinnati police chief under fire for brawl, accused of anti-white discrimination using race-based quota system. Okay. Talked about that. See if we can find some happy news stories. 3.0 magnitude earthquake strikes New Jersey. Tremors felt in parts of New York. When? That's weird. I'll have to talk about that on the Piney podcast tomorrow. Saturday night. That's now. 10:18 p.m. That was an hour ago. I felt nothing. Let's see. All right, here we go. Secret Service ex-director who quit after the Butler gunman nearly assassinated Trump, faces fresh humiliation. Her security clearance was denied. So there you go. There's a happy one. Yep, there's the poor guy who's still trapped in a Hamas tunnel somewhere. Prince Harry and Meghan don't care. Oh, here we go. Home Sweet Homes. Theranos fraudster Elizabeth Holmes jogs at Club Fed Texas prison where Ghislaine Maxwell moved. Okay, I don't remember her. Ooh, Eva Longoria rocks skimpy white bikini and sheer romper on family getaway in Spain. Nice. Nice. Horny mom, 42, reveals terrifying reason behind the sudden loss of her sex drive. My partner took it personally. How is she horny if her sex drive has gone away? Let's investigate. British Mon says she was stunned to learn what was behind the sudden loss of her sex drive. Super horny mom, apparently. Spent hours in the bedroom. Hours? That sounds like it would chafe. The former legal secretary suddenly found herself struggling to get aroused. Okay. She was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Ah, no. That sucks. Jesus. So that's why she's no longer horny. Ah, it's a bummer, man. Such a bummer. I gotta find some happier news. Hold on. Let me see if I can find happy news. Happy news headlines. There we go. Good news. All right. Inspiring positive stories on the Good News Network. Now, hopefully it doesn't get super religious on us. Our mighty mitochondria cell powerhouses can be harnessed for healing. Okay. Mildly positive. Ducks decide town center is best sleeping spot, so humans escort them safely to and from the river daily. That's nice. Aw. There they are. So they've got volunteers. This is in North Yorkshire, in England somewhere. And look at all the ducks. Oh, that's sweet. Good for you guys. Your weekly horoscope. All right, everybody tell me their sign, and I'll read you your horoscope. All right. First, I'll start with mine. I'm a Pisces. Pisces. In Norse mythology, the god Odin plucked out one of the eyes and hung himself upside down from the world tree for 9 days. Why would he do such a thing? Jesus, get to the part where I win money or don't. The ancient stories tell us this act of self-sacrifice earned him the right to learn the secret of the runes, which held the key to magic, fate, and wisdom. You don't need to make a sacrifice anywhere near dramatic, Pisces, but I do suspect you are primed for a comparable process. What discomfort are you willing to endure for the sake of revelation? What illusions must you give up to see more clearly? I dare you to engage in inner realignment that brings metamorphosis, but not martyrdom. Okay, not really much of a fortune. Ardent. What? Which, I don't know which sign that is. But I identify as a Leo. Oh, okay. So, Ardent's a Leo. We'll read your... Hopefully it's a better fortune than mine. Leo. In ancient China and ancient Greece, the lion was not the king of the beasts, but the guardian of the gates, the threshold keeper, the one who asked, "Are you ready?" Now is a good time to bring this aspect of the Leonine symbolism to your attention. You may soon feel a surge of leadership radiance, but not necessarily the stage commanding kind. It will be more like a priest and priestess energy, gatekeeper presence. People and situations in your orbit are on the verge of transformation, and you can be a midwife to their transitions by not by fixing or moralizing, but by witnessing. So I invite you to hold space, ask potent questions, be steady presence, ready to serve as a catalyst. Okay. Ardent. LOL. Ophiuchus is a proposed 13th sign because of an astronomical drift. Ophiuchus. All right. Anybody else before I'll I'll keep the page open if anybody wants their horoscope. They're pretty new agey. I don't like that horoscope. Australia's revolutionary hydrogen power is easier and cheaper to use for clean energy. Okay. That sounds positive. Sees Saturn stage a show in the night sky 15 years in the making this month. All right. So that's nice, I guess. Hefty aspen saplings not seen in Yellowstone for 80 years, attributed to wolves' welcome into the park. All right. In 10 minutes, UN's tsunami warning system notified millions in East Asia following Russia earthquake. That's good. I know I have some relatives, they were in Hawaii. They got notified. Pair of ancient megalithic tombs identified that date to Polish pyramid builders. Let's see what this means. Hydrogen powder, how long until some idiot tries snorting it? I think that would be extremely painful and poisonous. A pair of ancient tombs have been found in Poland that point to a distinctive Stone Age culture famous for earthen mounds. Discovered through remote sensing technology during routine field work in the Dzendery Chapowski Landscape Park, they seem to be a famous group of tombs which came to be known as the Polish Pyramids. Attributed to a Neolithic culture known as the Funnel Breakers, the pyramids were constructed of megalithic stones, elongated triangular shapes, often covered in dirt. A group of particularly noteworthy tombs were found in the historic region of something, between the towns of something and something. I can't pronounce any of these Polish names. So there they are. These examples, which contributed to the monikers giant beds and the Kuowai mounds, were likely built around 4000 BCE. Ooh. Ardent. YT81, let me rephrase the joke and try again. Ardent, read my horoscope. Commit arson and assault. Got it. That is not what it says. Two new graves are not quite as old, 3500 BCE. They consist of earthen mounds, trapezoid shapes, some stretching 656 feet in length. Typically, one person would be buried in it. At the end of a long hallway surrounded by grave goods. No human remains were found in either tomb, but it's hoped that some items may be found during planned excavations, perhaps a double-headed stone axe or characteristic ceramics, both typical of funnel breakers. Unlike the giant beds, the pair of tombs had lost their large megalithic gate stones. When translated, a report from the Polish press agency says that people have always needed stone throughout the ages. The large pieces at the front of the tomb would have been quarried down to build houses and enclosures. Ooh, imagine figuring out where those stones are. That would be neat. Ardent, and I make them way funnier. You make tombs like this way funnier? That's weird. All right. Fearless hero sprints in front of a train to rescue a man collapsed on track. Well, that's good. I guess we can get... Oh, there's a video? Okay, here we go. Put the sound down. All right. So here... That's it. Oh, here we go. So here it looks like an old dude. He's walking. Gonna get to the train. So there he's over here on the left. He gets wobbly, staggers, and down goes Fraser. So he's on the tracks. Then this dude on the right comes running out, seeing the train coming. Wow, look at him go. Get him, get him. Oh my God. Yeah, wow, that was close. He just got him out in time. Just got him out in time. Good for you, bro. That was a daring rescue. Ardent, LOL, you missed a comment. Hashtag Goodman News. Did I miss a comment? Horoscopes are what you make of them, and I make them way funnier. Ah, now I get it. Sorry. All right, let's see. Let's see what else we got here. What time is it? Ooh, it's 11:38. I got to start wrapping this up. Ardent, that was so close, and if the train had been traveling full speed, they could have both been sucked in. Yeah. Well, it looked like it was at a station, so probably slowing down. Here's sunny skies. Strangers help find and reunite a woman with wedding rings she lost on the beach. Okay, that's nice. Couple turns old dorm into safe home for older women facing homelessness. That's nice. I like that. Texas grandma is reuniting flood survivors with lost treasures. That's nice. He couldn't free her from the car, so he held her hand until help came. So there was some sort of accident, and this dude helped the woman as best he could. Teen kayakers rescue baby horse from rushing river in Alberta. Ah, there you go, guys. Ardent, that was so close. Oh, I read that one. So there. It's a nice thing in Alberta happened. She stopped for snacks and ended up changing a life. Okay. So she helped a homeless guy get off the streets. Well, that's nice. Good for you. Good for you. See, a lot of people say they're that compassionate and they, throw $1 at some homeless dude, but very few people actually do something. So I gotta respect that. Abandoned and blind. Oh no. This baby moose journey is melting hearts across Canada. Aw. Poor blind moose. Jesus. That's a shame. How the hell is he going to survive? I guess they're going to put him in a zoo or something. Poor blind moose. World's most premature surviving baby turns 1, sets new Guinness record. 21 weeks. And they saved that baby. Wow. I'll adopt the baby moose, says Ardent, for a year. Are you going to eat the moose, Ardent? Because the thing is blind. That's not an eaten moose. A disabled man's livelihood was stolen. Then a stranger came to his rescue. A disabled landscaper is back on his feet thanks to a stranger's incredible act of kindness. Well, that's nice. Haunted by war, a Marine found peace in a dream, then brought it to life. Okay, so this was a Vietnam vet. And I think he built, what did he build, a carousel? Yeah, he built a carousel. Good for you. And that was his dream. Ardent, you goddamn right I will. You'd eat moose? There's no such thing as a non-eating moose. I don't know, man. I don't think I could eat him. He's already had a tough enough life. Korean restaurant in Austin offers free meals to everyone once a month. No strings attached. Cool. Country star Hardy turns server's rough week into an unforgettable night. That's nice. So I assume he gave him a bunch of money and asked him to come backstage before the show. So that's nice. So he gave him a backstage pass. That's cool. Ardent, moose is amazing. I guess. Ozzy Osbourne's final performance sets record as highest grossing charity concert of all time. Ozzy really went out on a high note. You got to give it to him. He's a hero. Dad saves child from mountain lion attack at Olympic National Park. Ballsy. A simple box, a big impact. This city's blessing box quietly helps those in need. I have a neighbor who does that. She puts out like canned goods and a sign. She has a sign that says "Take what you need." She doesn't have it like covered up though, which I see it in this heat. I don't know, man. I think she should maybe cover it up or something, but I'm not sure how she organizes it. And man breaks world record after running 465 half marathons in 1 year. Jesus, dude. That's crazy. He looks pretty muscled out. Yeah, this dude's got to be friggin' cut. I mean, he ran 465 half marathons in 12 months. More than 6,000 miles. Jesus. How do you even find that many? He was recovering from a hernia thing. That's crazy. Phew. Ardent, yeah, it's like those neighborhood library boxes. They tend to fill up with insects and things. Some asshat was throwing garbage in one locally. That's no bueno. My neighbors had one, but there was a big storm, and it knocked down 4 of the trees in there, or 3 of the trees in there. Big trees. These were huge trees. They were very lucky. One didn't really hit the house. One kind of skimmed the house, but none of them, I mean, it could have flattened the house. That's how big these trees were. But one of the branches did hit they had a tiny library out front and damaged the library. So they took it down. They intend to put it back, but they haven't yet. It's kind of a bummer. When they put it up, I was really psyched because I thought, oh, that would be cool to have a town with those, free libraries, I think. And then I thought, well, maybe I could get everybody in town to get one. And then I was thinking of putting one up, but I mean, I could fill it with books easy enough, but getting the actual library going, it became a thing I thought about for a few weeks, and then I was like, where am I going to get the money? Am I going to get sued? I got to put like a bench. So I decided against it. Well, before I had really decided against it, the other one went down, and now I was like, Ardent, es mucho no bueno. That is mucho no bueno. All right, I think I'm going to wrap it here because it's almost midnight, and I am going to do another live stream tomorrow. Don't you worry. The regular live stream where we'll talk about Hollywoke stuff. So any final thoughts, some positive thoughts would be nice because we're trying to keep it positive. Maybe I should I did a bit. I haven't done it in a while. This was sort of it. It was good news with Tony and Joan. So maybe I'll do that as an extra live stream on occasion. Because, yeah, reading the real news is just such a bummer. And I already did my news blast, so I already knew most of those stories. I thought, though, I don't know. I thought there'd be a couple of good ones. Usually there's a few nice ones. Even the Piney podcast is kind of getting depressing sometimes because there's just, like the last couple of weeks, it's been a ton of crime locally. Just a ton of it. And all the list of the various food items. Normally I get lists of like, here's the best pizza in South Jersey. Here's the best ice cream in South Jersey. They're like kind of hard to come by now. I don't know why. Maybe I got to search better. I don't know. Anyhow, thanks for tuning in. This was just sort of a random thing. Ardent, see you tomorrow night, usual time. Yes, I can't wait to roast Star Trek Starfleet Academy. Positive thought. Yeah, the Starfleet Academy thing. Holy cow. What an absolute train wreck that looks like. That looks really bad. Yeah, you got to remind me about Starfleet Academy because what I'm probably going to get caught up in is Fantastic Four because the Fantastic Four numbers do not look, they are no bueno. And I'm pretty sure tomorrow it's going to be a drop of about, they're predicting a drop of 66% since last week, which is very no bueno for the movie, but it could be more. The Friday drop was in the 80% range, like 88% drop. But that's Friday. That's a little different. Saturday's the big money day, and then Sunday's going to be in the mix. So I don't know, man. It could drop a lot. Ardent, no worries. I tore it apart yesterday. All right. All right. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you tomorrow in the live stream. Positive thought, says Ardent. Yes. And remember to always think positively because if you don't, you'll just be a negative Nancy. And no one likes negative Nancy. And that's it for me, Tony D. And Little Joan. Ardent says, at least you've never going to be hated as much as Alex Kurtzman. No one is. Wow, it's not even a comparison, Ardent. I don't know what you're saying. Alex Kurtzman, he's one of the most hated men on the planet, in my opinion, for what he's done to Star Trek. Although, Rachel Zegler could be a close second, I guess. I think the word is she was in Evita, the musical, I think in London. And she bailed on a show, and her understudy got a standing ovation. Ardent, later. Later. We'll see ya. Come on. End stream.